Voice is not audible. Okay. Some technical issue. Now is it audible, Steven? Hello? Steven, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, okay, fine, fine. Okay. Today we'll be understanding dynamics of perception. Okay. There's nothing dynamics of perception when we're talking students. Okay. Uh, what does a person think about a particular brand or the product? How the consumer thinks about the particular brand or the product? We call it as perception. Okay. Uh, Now, say for example, the way you look at a product is quite different from the way others look at the product. Now, take an example of don't I'm not biasing this. I'm just giving an example. The way boys look at Royal Enfield 350, or as boys look at RX 100, okay, uh, Yamaha RX 100 is very different from the way ladies look at this particular bike. Okay, just you can say yes or no. That's fine. Okay, how many of you like RX 100, Yamaha RX 100? How many of you don't like RX 100?
Yes,
Anyone?
sir.
Okay,
Like,
is
sir.
there? Okay, anyone who doesn't like RX 100? Be honest, nothing wrong in that. Is there anyone who doesn't like RX 100? How, what is your perception as soon as you look at this RX 100 bike? Okay, so for few people, it's not that great. Someone would say this, but for few people, they are crazy about this particular vehicle. Okay, so this is something what I am trying to say is perception. If you look at this image, okay, if you see this diagram or is the image what I given over here, few people they are actually cat, but the way they pretend to be is like a lion. Okay, so that's what we call it as perception. The way they look at it, okay, we call it as perception. Okay, so there are three aspects of perception. Students, come to page 23. Three aspects of perception. Okay. Okay, those who join now, please in the comment section, please type it as present for the attendance purpose. Okay, please do that. So there are three aspects of perception. One is perceptual selection, then perceptual organization, and perceptual interpretation. Okay, students. Accepts of perception, 10 marks question in your paper every year, asked in the paper for 10 marks. Okay, very important question for the exam point of view. Three aspects of perception, or else in the exam they might ask you dynamics of perception for 10 marks. Then you are supposed to write the aspects of perception. Okay, so first is perceptual selection. Okay, then perceptual organization and perceptual interpretation. Okay, selection, then organization and interpretation. Okay, so let's start one by one. Perception selection. Okay, consumers subconsciously exercise a great deal of selectivity as to which aspects of the environment they perceive. An individual may look for some things, ignore other, and turn away from still other. Okay, in actually people receive only small fraction of stimuli to which they are exposed. Okay, so how what this happens, perceptual selection, how the people select a particular product, and few people they don't select the particular product. So what are the reasons in this perceptual selection? Let's understand the three processes defined in selection. One is selective exposure. The first point is selective exposure. Consumers actively seek out messages that they find pleasant or with which they are sympathetic. Okay, they are they actively avoid painful or threatening ones. They also select uh, okay, they also selectively expose themselves to the advertisement that reassure them the wisdom of the purchase decision. Okay, now take an example. Let's understand selective exposure. There are few people wherein they look at the advertisement, they accept the advertisement which they feel it's good for them. Okay, and there are few people who don't feel the advertisement to be good and they ignore such advertisement. Okay, how many of you, before I start with the example, how many of you hate some advertisement? How many of you don't like the advertisement? I'll be very honest. I was a part of this product, okay, and the launch as well. I never liked the advertisement done by my previous team, Vim advertisement. We called 1,000 people in a ground and we are saying chikna ye hata denge. Okay, that was a nonsense advertisement what you did. Okay, I'll be very honest. I never loved this advertisement. Is there anyone who don't like some advertisements, who doesn't wish to look particular advertisements? Take an example of IAN advertisement by Idea, one of the pathetic advertisement I've ever seen. To be very honest with you guys, okay. How many of you don't like some advertisement? Any answers? Any specific advertisements you don't like?
Sir, Airtel
Airtel,
advertisement, sir.
the
Complaints
recent one.
about the complaints. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. You don't like that advertisement. Okay, okay. So that's not pleasant advertisement for Vishal. Okay, done. Others, any views?
Sir, Vodafone and Idea.
And sir, Vodafone and Idea, the latest advertisement, what you're seeing?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. We, we,
you
we,
didn't
we.
like it. Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
great.
घड़ी सर पहले इस्तेमाल करो फिर विश्वास करो
हाँ पहले इस्तेमाल करो फिर विश्वास करो. Okay, you didn't like that advertisement. Okay, okay, Minas. Then others, any views on the advertisement? Okay, fine. That's really great. Okay, now let's understand. Now, selective exposure. If a consumer is willing to buy a cell phone, he or she will start looking at the cell phone advertisement in the television, else he'll ask his colleagues or friends. Now, exposure. Now, the customer wants to get an exposure to a particular product. Now, there is something fixed in your mind. Now, say for example, you're planning to buy a bike, you're planning to buy a cell phone, you're planning to buy a trouser. Okay, say for example, there is a function in the college and you're planning to buy some dresses. On that particular day you go on looking at all the showrooms wherein the dresses are being sold because you're exposing yourself. Okay, you want to expose, you want to get to know the things. Okay, now let me put one more example and little bit clear. If you're planning to buy a bike, okay, on that particular day for so many days you might have not even looked at the showroom, or else you might have not even looked at the bikes which is parked in the parking lot. But from then what you do is you start exposing to the things. You want to know how this bike actually looks, how white color looks, how gray color looks, how pink color looks. So you, that is what we call it as selective exposure. Few people look at the advertisement, few people ask their friends, few people get into online website and start checking the products. I hope you guys have done this. Yeah, selective exposure means you start looking at the products, okay, and you want to know more and more about those particular products. This has happened with you guys? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's what we call it as selective exposure, students. Okay, the first point. Is that clear, the example and the concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the second is selective attention. Consumer exercises a great deal of selectivity in terms of attention give to commercial stimuli. Stimuli is what the desire we have. They have heightened awareness of stimuli that their need and interest is minimal awareness of stimuli irrelevant to their needs. Thus, consumers are likely to note the ads for the products that would satisfy their needs and disagree with those which they have no interest. Okay. Now, if you see this picture, students, free and fresh. Okay, you might have observed this in Big Bazaar. You might have observed this in Reliance Fresh as well. Okay, the consumer goes for buying the product wherein the board is put as fresh. This is something which is grabbing the attention of the customers. Now today if you're free afterward, please go to some showrooms or else please come on the streets and just check near the showrooms. They have put Deepavali offer. Okay, 20% discount, 30% discount. MediPlus 20% discount on medicines. Okay, Apollo 15% discount on medicines or 20% discount on medicines. DMart says flat 20% discount. Okay, 50% discount. Reliance Fresh. Deepavali offer. Buy one, get one free. So this is something, it is grabbing the attention of the customers. Okay, now take an example of Amazon recent advertisement. They're selling her product pay discount. And even Flipkart is coming up is saying her product pay discount. So this is something selective attention. It grabs the attention of the customers. Okay, you can recall many advertisements wherein it grabs the attention of the customers. Okay, today this is the right time, students, because of the festival, or else the next you can see the offers during the time of Christmas, or else in the New Year. Many companies come up with huge advertisements. They want to grab the attention of the customers. Okay, those who joined late, please just type present in the chat box, students. Please type present. Okay, that's attendance. Okay, those who joined now, okay, just type present. Selective attention. Any questions, students? Please let me know. Selective attention. Hope that picture helps you. If you see at the bottom near the apple, they have written it as free. So the customer first runs over there. Then fresh. If they want to buy vegetable, though the vegetable is not fresh, but if I put a board as fresh, then people buy it. I've seen people buying apple in Belgavi city by saying Australian apple. The sticker is put on the apple saying Australian apple, and people go for buying it more and more. Imagine feeling that it's from Australia. Okay, so this is something, it grabs the attention of the customers. Yeah. Is that clear, students? I can see near this, what do you say? Soon after Pirnamadi, or else what is that area? I don't know. Yeah, near Udyamba, HP petrol pump is open. He says free nitrogen is given for all the bikes and cars. So many people rush into there now. Nowadays, I've been seeing this. Okay, because he has put a board over there as free, and this is something grabbing the attention of the customer. Yeah, clear, students? Selective attention? Yes, no? Just let me know. Shall we move to
Yes, sir.
selective? Okay, selective perception. Okay, in this selective perception, it is a process by which one only precise pursues what he or she feels is right, completely ignoring the opposing viewpoints. Okay, whatever he or she will feel right, he'll accept that. Whatever others says, they are least bothered about. They ignore it. In other words, he or she sees the picture only that he wishes to see, and not what the actual picture is. Many situations in the real life attribute to these concepts. Okay, example: imagine that you are in a supermarket to buy some fruits, and you always pick the ones you know the good taste, having made the decision without tasting the other fruits. Okay, this is really interesting. Selective perception. This you can check with your parents, or else you can check in your friends group as well. Okay, there might be any one friend in your group who might say, we'll go to this specific hotel for the party, because he says this is the only hotel on the earth which is the best hotel. Yeah, or as your parents might say, this is the only shop on the earth which is the best service given, and not other services, not other outlets. So this is what they have selected. Selective perception means they have made their mind fix that this is the only hotel which is giving the best service, this is the only shop which gives the best service. Such thing we call it as selective perception. Have you come across this situation, students, anytime in your friends group, or as a photocopy center, or as a studio, or as any shop, any theater, wherein you say this is the only theater which gives movie theater which gives the best sound effects, or as any hotel which gives the best service. Have you come across such things? Bus service.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is
Cinepolis,
what.
Cinepolis.
Okay, okay. So selective perception, we call it as selective perception. Okay, any questions in these 3 points? Please let me know in selective exposure. Okay, and then the next part is selective perceptual organization. The next part we'll cover is perceptual organization. Take a minute or so. Any questions? Quite a simple one. Any questions? Please let me know. And those who join now, please type present in the comment box. Please type present in the comment box. That is your attendance. Okay, please type present in the comment box. Yes, sir, correct. Okay, students, no questions? Okay, so let's move to the next part, perceptual organization. People do not experience numerous stimuli. They select from the environment as separate and discrete sensation. Rather, they tend to organize them into groups and perceive them to be unified wholes. Okay. Now, perceptual organization, again, it has been divided. There are some factors affecting perceptual organization. So let's understand one by one what is this perceptual organization. First is figure ground. The basic principle, the perceived object stands out as separable from the general background. Perceptual selectivity will influence perceptual organization. Okay, that's a key point, students. Perceptual selectivity will influence perceptual organization. The viewer is to set to perceive one things and the sensation is different, perceptual organization will be affected. Now, how it is, let's understand with the help of example. You see words on the printed paper as figure and the white sheet as the background white. Okay. Now, figure ground, when I say for example, in the hotels, soon after the lunch, okay, soon after you go for the hand wash or something, tissue paper is given to you. Even on that, they come up with the advertisement. Oh, that's so best example for your figure round. You see the words printed on the advertisement. You see the words printed on the paper, okay, but not the complete information. Now, say for example, many times, take an example of mutual funds. You're just looking at the, if I invest so much, I'll get so much returns, but you're not looking at the risk return at the bottom. Okay. Investment is subject to matter risk. You are least bothered about it. Okay. What is visible, the figure ground, what is visible, which stands out, only that you look. Okay. Now, say for example, Amazon says 50% discount. Okay. Only on few products, but not on all the products. But customer thinks that 50% discount is on everything. So that is what we called as figure count. Means, again, I would say this: the perceived object stands out as separable from the general background. No one looks at the general background. Everyone is worried only about the advertisement which is highlighting. That's what we call it as figure count. Now, take an example of airline. Star says in Belgavi, within 1,399 from Belgavi to Bangalore. 1,399 you can reach from Belgavi to Bangalore. That's an advertisement, but they are not including the tax. They are not including the other fares into this fare. Okay, they are just saying 1,399. But what is that? Is it a business class or economic class? They have never mentioned in their advertisement. So that's what we call it as figure count. Is it making sense, students? Can you name some advertisement wherein this happened, or else as a consumer, have you seen anything? Take an example of bikes. You buying a bike.
Sir, for the gold,
Gold. Yes, perfect example.
they don't add making charges and then say.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, that's really nice. You can write that as an example.
And bike, then after that,
Bike.
what?
Yes.
Like, for till on road price, how much tax and all.
Other prices they don't include. Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Others, sir? Any view?
Usual time, Pi Electronics and other showrooms, they say that the for 299 power bank is available, for 49 SD card is available. It is on the purchase of the mobile.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, even that as an example. That's what we call it as figure ground, students. Clear? Making sense?
So exchange offers.
Exchange offers. Yeah, Vishal, that's really nice. Exchange offers, again a figure ground. Yeah. What products they are going to exchange at what price, they'll never discuss about it. Yeah, that's really nice example. Good, perfect. Others, any questions, any ambiguity, or any examples you want to plug in? Just let me know. Clear? Shall we move to the next point, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then the next is perceptual grouping. Okay, there is a tendency to group several stimuli together into a recognizable pattern. Grouping is done on the basis of closure, continuity, proximity, and similarity. So let's understand what is this. Closure, perceptual process will close the gaps that are unfulfilled from sensory inputs. Thus, due to closure, person will sometimes perceive the whole when one does not actually exist. Okay. Now, what we are trying to say over here, perceptual process will close the gaps. This grouping actually closes the gap. In the service marketing, you might have come across the gaps. Yes or no? You have studied the gaps now? Hello? The gap model. Hello, students. The gap model. Circle. You've gone through the circle now. Service quality gap model, everything. Okay. Perceptual grouping, here we are talking about the gap. Okay. One is closure, continuity, proximity, and similarity. Okay. Have you gone through the gap model? Yes, no? Is it audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Audible, sir.
Yeah. Have you come across this? Yeah. Have you come across this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll explain it in general terms. Okay. Please understand. Always remember there arises a gap between the marketer and the customer. Either it could be what we say the gaps of the services or else the gaps of the product. Now let me put it in very very simple terms and explain you, okay, how it works. Okay, now when we are talking about all these 4 point students, closure, continuity, proximity and similarity. Okay, now each and every person or else each and every group is having an expectation about the products. Okay, when we say this, each and every group has the expectation. The marketer, okay, he wants to make sure that the customer will understand or else accept the product, okay, as per the closure, continuity, proximity and similarity. Okay, closure is the marketer wants the customer into his outlet and he wants to close the process, means he wants to sell the goods and finish the transaction. One. Second is continuity. Once after closing, that doesn't mean that he wants to end the business with the customer. He wants the customer to continue with his business for the longer run. Okay, he wants the customer to continue the business for the longer run. Okay, then comes proximity. When we say proximity, students, please understand, nearness states that a group of a stimuli that are close together and will be perceived as a whole pattern or the parts belonging to the together. Okay, now let's understand. Students coming out of lecture hall, often department or work groups are perceived as single entity because of the physical proximity. Okay, now proximity, when I say, okay, they are, say for example, hmm, okay, what example could be easy example? Okay, now in the group, they might not feel that comfortable, okay, to ask the doubt. Okay, and what they do is they tend to come later and ask the doubt. Okay, here what happens, nearness the state of group. Okay, here they don't feel comfortable in the group, whereas they are very much comfortable, okay, as an individual, and they might go for asking the doubt for the students. Or I'll say for example, you go to shopping with your friend. Okay, nearness in this space, time or relationship is a meaning. Okay, now let me explain you in the very simple terms. You and, say for example, Vishal and Shreyans has gone for shopping. Okay, now Vishal picked one particular product, okay, and he says, I'll buy it. Even Shreyans wants to buy it, but he's feeling hesitant to ask, okay, and maybe after, once Vishal goes home, again Shreyans might go to the same outlet and ask the vendor, okay, how about the price and what is the quality of this particular product. Okay, so this is what we call it as proximity, means nearness state that a group of stimuli that are close together and will be perceived as whole pattern of the parts belonging together. They both belong to the same group, but there is a gap, there is a small gap. Okay, so that's what we call proximity. Then the next is similarity. Greater the similarity of the stimuli, the greater the tendency to perceive them as common group of people coming out of the office building. Proximity and similarity. Okay, everyone is coming out of the office. Okay, now take an example is similarity, means you will feel that everyone is doing the same work and coming out of the office at the same time. Okay, if there is a huge rush in front of the outlet, okay, you might assume this, there could be many, he could be providing great service, but you never know, the people might be standing for the complaints over there. Okay, so that's what we call it as perceptual grouping. The marketer goes for grouping the customers, grouping the uh, customers or else the mindset of the customers over here. Okay, so any doubts in this, please let me know, students, because this is something which has been covered in your service marketing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, the gap models, the 5 gaps. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember this?
No, sir.
My God. Okay. Okay. Have you gone through Serequel in the service marketing? Serequel, service quality. Oh my God. Okay, fine, students. Not an issue. In general, I explain this. So this is how it goes. Okay. So that's a quite simple one. I just have a glance at it, maybe a minute or so. Then I'll move to perceptual constancy. Now, please look at these 5 points. Any questions in that? Please let me know. Else we'll move to perceptual constancy, then context. Okay. Okay, perceptual consciousness, when we say students, sophisticated from the perceptual organization, it gives a sense of stability in the changing world. Okay, now how it was a consciousness, there are few specific customers who are very specific about the color, who are specific about the size, who are specific about the shape, and specific about the brightness of an object, and fairly constant everywhere. Okay, just you can answer, one or two can answer, or else many of you can answer. When you bought an refrigerator or else a washing machine, did you see your parents were very specific about the color? Do you come across this? Hello? The
Yes, sir.
size, the color, the size, the color, okay, and the shape, okay. So that's what we called as perceptual consciousness. Means their perception is as per their feeling. This is what the perception is. You can't change it, okay. Then comes perceptual context. When we say this, highest and most sophisticated form of perceptual organization in the context, it gives meaning the value to smile stimuli, objects, events, situation, and other persons in the environment, okay. An employee coming late, okay, I've given an example over here. An employee coming late and receiving a pat on the back by the employer, raised eyebrow, okay. Now when you can recall this, when you're planning to buy any product, and the salesman asks you, sir, when do you want to buy this, and you just have a sarcastic smile, or else you might raise your eyebrows, or else you can just raise your arms and just say, I'm not sure about it. So that's what we call it as perceptual context, okay. That's what is the highest, most sophisticated perceptual organization in the context. Now please go through this sub point, students. Any questions in this, please let me know, okay. Bit tricky part, but any questions, please let me know. With the examples, just have a glance at it. And the perceptual grouping, okay, and perceptual grouping, then perceptual constancy and perceptual context, okay. Any questions, please let me know. Then we'll move to the next part, perceptual interpretation, okay. The last part of this attributes, perceptual interpretation. How the, yes please, yes please.
So, that like some people don't buy black color, no. So that comes in perceptual.
Constancy. Yeah, C,
Okay,
point C.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
perfect. Yeah, you're getting
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
And if you reject that particular product, okay, say for example, that's a nice point what you raised now. You don't like black color, constancy. If you reject that particular product, okay, then you come under context. Yeah, means
Okay, sir.
the salesman is trying to pitch the product to you, but you don't accept the product.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
yeah. Okay, the next is perceptual interpretation. You might be very much aware about what is interpretation now, soon after your project. Yes? Analysis and interpretation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. You cannot forget this word interpretation now, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Yeah, because for every questionnaire you had an interpretation you are supposed to write in the project. Okay. The final sub process in the perceptual process is referred as perceptual interpretation. After the input has been given attention to and has been organized into a coherent form, a meaning is extracted out of it. Okay. The reason behind the cause and what we give the reason, we call it as interpretation. This is referred to as perceptual interpretation. It is purely cognitive process, okay, which is responsible for extracting meaning out of the organized stimuli. Okay. Now, perceptual interpretation, what is the perception of the customer? Why he reacts, why he didn't accept this particular product, and why he accepted the other product? We write the reason for that. We call it as interpretation. Okay. Now let's understand one by one. One is physical appearance. The first point is physical appearance. Now, people often judge others on the basis of physical appearance and looks. Okay. Now, many people judge others on the physical appearance and looks. How it happens? Example, let's understand with the help of example. Just because the car is good in looks, well designed and appealing, does not essentially imply that it gives a good mileage. Its engine is robust or technically sound. Marketers take advantage of physical appearance as an influencing factor to their advantage. They not only design their cars, okay, in the bright, vibrant colors and thus making it good, but also design the advertisement accordingly to attract the buyers. Physical appearance. Many people buy the products just because of the physical appearance. Okay, students, I want to know from you people, have you bought any product just by looking at the looks of the product and the product quality was not good later? Any views, any examples? You just bought it just for the physical appearance, but the quality of the product was not that great.
Yes, sir. For
Sir, Goggle.
perfume.
Sorry, goggle.
Yes, sir.
Perfume.
Okay, then
Perfume, sir. Perfume.
perfume. Okay, may I know the brand?
So Blue Lady, something.
Okay, okay, Blue Lady. The
Yeah.
bottling
So the
shape was
fragrance was worst.
worst.
I
Okay,
didn't
thanks
like.
for being
I
honest.
didn't like.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
fine, fine. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's really
Sir, a cosmetic product.
cosmetic. Can you be very specific on that? Anyone? Wherein the look was good, but the product was not good, as Vaishnavi said, and Vishal was specific about the. Oh, Vishal, what was your point? Okay,
Nykaa,
Goggle.
sir,
goggles. Yeah,
or
goggles.
maybe.
Okay, fine, not an issue. Okay, so this is what we call it as, okay, just for your example, physical appearance means people buy the products because of the looks. The quality of the product is not that great, okay, and the marketer makes the best advantage of it. It takes the best advantage from the customer. Then the second is stereotypes. You might be aware of these stereotypes, but let's understand this in the consumer view. People judge other person on the basis of their characteristics of the group to which he belongs. It is a tendency to pursue another as belonging to the same group or category as the former. However, in reality, each individual is different and unique. Okay, people have a tendency to generalize. They create expectation of what a stimuli, okay, would be like on the basis of the group to which he or she belongs to. Okay, now let's understand this with the help of example. What is stereotype? Chinese goods are regarded as low in price and inferior in quality. However, not all goods may be inferior in quality. However, they are stereotypes as cheap and inferior. Okay, nowadays, soon after this lockdown or as COVID-19, okay, now people are not accepting China products because that's a stereotype fixed in your mind. But to be very frank with you, government has joined hands with China, and they are building a good relationship. But in India, everything is being sold on the basis of made in India, not made in China. That's a stereotype. Okay, making sense, students? What is stereotype? Okay. Is there any stereotype for you guys with a particular product or something? Any category of products wherein the stereotype is fixed in your mind? Hello.
About Maggie.
Okay, Maggie, that's a great example. Noodles, that's a stereotype. That's great. That's really nice example. Good, good. Then others.
Sir, Parle-G biscuit.
Parle-G biscuit. What is a stereotype, Shayaz?
Sir, glucose.
Glucose. Yeah, perfect. Then others. Any views? Vishal, Vaishnavi, any views?
Sir, Mountain Dew.
Such a
Okay, Mountain Dew. Yeah, that's a stereotype. Perfect.
such a one prash.
Chyawanprash. Okay, great. Okay, stereotype. Okay, great. Okay, that's really nice. Making sense, students? Okay. Then the next point is first impression. People often make judgment on the basis of the first impression. This may not always be true and could be erroneous. If erroneous would be known as perceptual error based on the first impression. First impression as a principle has implication for the marketer. Okay, now let's understand this with the help of example. Companies recruit salesperson who have good pleasing personality, can converse well and have a power to convince. This is because they want their salesperson to crave a good impression in the first time and meet their customers. Okay, so always please remember the salesperson plays a very important role when it comes to first impression. Say for example, I walk into Harsha, Belgavi, and the salesperson doesn't come and address me for 5 minutes or so. I might just walk out of the outlet and they lost the customer over there. That's what we call it as first impression. And if the salesperson comes with a very pleasing voice, explains me the product, everything, only because of that, I might go for buying the product. So this is what we call it as first impression. What the customer perceives about this particular outlet. Is there any outlet wherein you had a bad experience and you just walked out? Any incident you want to share, students, wherein the salesperson didn't help you out, or else you're not happy with the services provided by them and you just walked out? It could be a hotel, or else it could be a bank, it could be a supermarket, hypermarket. Anything? First impression was a wrong impression. You had it anytime? Yes.
Sir, Bata showroom.
Bata showroom, yeah. They never address the people. Okay. Bata showroom. Okay. Okay. That's the first impression what Vishal has now. Okay. Okay. Then the next is jumping to conclusion. Okay. This is a quite easy one. People often exhibit a tendency to arrive at the conclusion even before have gone through the entire stimuli or information. This is referred to as jumping to conclusion. Okay. Now say this is the incident which happened at my home. So I have written this as an example. I'll be very honest with you. Taking my mom into an example, I have written this. A salesperson knocks the door of the house and introduces himself as a salesperson of Eureka Forbes. Even before he says that he has come in to make a demonstration for the vacuum cleaner, the lady of the house interprets and says that she already owns an AquaGuard and she doesn't need other. Okay, this is what we call it as jumping into conclusion. This incident happened long back, and I thought this is the right example. You can write it, students, nothing wrong. Jumping into conclusion. The salesperson is trying to say something, but you'll never listen to him. Okay, this might have happened with you when people ask you to make a membership card or as a credit card, and you say you already have this. Have you done this? Jumping into conclusion. Jumping into conclusion. Yes, no. Anyone? In Big Bazaar, membership card or as credit card, credit card.
Yes, sir.
Vouchers. Yeah, you say we already have this, and you
Yeah,
just
sir.
jump into conclusion. You'll never listen to the salesperson. Yeah, that's what we call it as jumping into conclusion. Again, a part of perception. Okay. Then, very important part. What is halo effect? You might be aware of this. What is halo effect? But let's understand this. What is halo effect? Okay. Now, let's understand this with the help of example itself, students. Simply instead of reading that, okay, just understand what is halo effect. Procter & Gamble has roped in Kajol as a brand ambassador for oil of Olay. When the consumer perceives the oil of Olay and to be a good lotion just because it is being endorsed by a successful actress Kajol, the halo effect would come into play. Kajol presence overrides all the qualities present in the oil of Olay and the company Procter & Gamble. Many people go for buying the products. It is because Kajol has said this. That's a halo effect happening in the mind of the customer. Because Kajol is using it, so I am using it. Because Yami Gautam is using Glow and Lovely, so even I am using Glow and Lovely. So this is something we call it as halo effect. Okay. Ajay Devgan says Kesar ka rang, har ghar mein kesar ka rang. Okay, what is that kesar ka rang? You know it, to be very frank. But that's an halo effect, what the customers are taking into. Any examples you want to share, students, on halo effect? Please let me know.
Sir, Philip Streamer by
Philip
Virat
Kumar
Kohli.
by Varun Dhawan.
No, sir, Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli.
New
Yeah,
advertisement.
that's a halo effect. Yeah, that's great. He might not be using it, but this particular product, but he has kept a beard which is trimmed, and people believe that Virat Kohli might also be using the same thing. So that's a halo effect in the mind of the customer. Yeah. Any other view, students?
Sir, Alia Bhatt in Meswak toothpaste advertisement.
Yeah. Alia Bhatt is into Vico. Vico.
Vico, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a halo effect. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Any other views?
Luminologics.
Sorry?
So,
So Himan handsome, this one just a cream one, sir. The Shah Rukh Khan
Imami
that.
handsome. Okay. Yeah. Fair and handsome.
Fair
Imami
enough.
fair and okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, Srinidhi.
so that Womanolics by what is
Even I don't know her name. Yeah, you're right.
So she-
That's a halo effect. Yeah. What is her name?
Yeah.
Can you help us on the name? The actress?
Tapsi Pannu, sir.
Yeah.
Tapsi.
Yeah, Tapsi. Yeah, perfect. So that's a halo effect.
yes, sir.
That's really nice. Yeah, booked by me and Virat Kohli. Again, a halo effect. Okay, that's really nice, students. Great, good, very good. Okay. So here we complete the aspects of perception. Okay. Any questions in that? There are three aspects: the perceptual selection, perceptual organization, and perceptual interpretation. Okay. The perception aspects of perception. Okay. Any questions in this? Please let me know. Okay. The next part, consumer imagery. Okay. Perceived price, perceived quality, then perceived quality, price, and relationship. Just have a glance, students. I'm just leaving it to you, the 3 points. Okay. Because we are already covered on the top. Okay. I am straight away coming to page 28, which we call it as perceived risk. Okay. Many times asked in the question paper for 7 marks. Okay. Very, very important question for the exam. But before that, consumer imagery, those perceived quality, perceived, what we say, perceived quality, then relationship, price. Any question? Now let me explain you this. Let me not skip this. Okay, okay. Perceived price is what is that price the customer is looking at. We call it as perceived price. Now, say for example, Lenskart. Many people don't get into Lenskart assuming that the price could be high. We call it as perceived price. Okay. Many people don't get into Barbecue Nation or else UK 27. The reason is they might assume that the price is high and let's not go over there. We call it as perceived price. Perceived quality, only in this particular shop the product is good, is a perceived quality. That's what you perceive. That is fixed in your mind. And the price and the quality relationship, how it goes. Okay, so that's what it's a general thing, students. Just in the bracket, please write it as general over there. Okay. Now, perceived risk. Okay, before that, please have a glance at the points, whatever we discussed, students. Any questions in that? Please let me know. Okay, or else I'll move to the very important part, perceived risk. Sure short question in your paper every year. Okay, different types of perceived risk. Just have a glance at it. Questions, please let me know. Hello, shall we start perceived risk?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, now perceived risk. Perceived risk varies depending upon the person, the product, the situation, and the culture. Some customers may perceive high degree of risk depending upon the consumption situation. Now, different types of risk. 7 marks question in your paper, students. Okay, functional risk. This refers to the risk which a consumer perceives when he is uncertain about the product attribute, features, and overall benefit. His doubt is whether the product will perform as per his expected to perform. Okay. Now, will the micro function well once if I take home? Okay. Many times you might have come across this. Maybe I'll be asking after I explain this. You bought a particular product online, okay, and you have a doubt, will this actually work as per the expectation? We call it as functional risk. Can you name some examples, students? You bought a product and if I go home and I use it, will it
Yes,
actually
sir.
work the same pattern? Can you name the product and just tell me some example?
Sir, I have ordered Cami hair straightener.
Uh-huh. And it didn't work out well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, others? Yeah, Srinidhi.
So I recently ordered a washing machine,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in doubt, but now it's okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Fine. You had
Yes.
a perceived risk, but now it's fine. It's working really well. Okay, that's really nice. You have a
Yeah.
functional risk. Sorry, functional risk. Yeah.
Yes.
Will it function or not? We call it as functional risk. Yeah. Others, any views? More
Okay.
example?
Sir, bikes mileage.
Mileage. Yeah. That's the best example. Functional risk. Okay. That's great. Okay, the next is physical risk. This kind of a risk is pursued when a consumer doubts about his and his family's safety with respect to the usage of the product. It refers to the dangers that the product usage could bring with itself. Example, will cooking in the microwave emit harmful radiations and kill the food nutritions, or will the consumption of the food cooked in the microwave lead to cancer, or will it lead to the shocks and short circuit in the times of voltage fluctuation? That's a physical risk. How it will perform, you had a doubt. That's what we call it as physical risk. Functional risk, will it work? Now it has started working, but is it harmful if I use it? Is a physical risk. Any other view, students, on this? Any other examples? Means you bought the product, it is working fine, but you have the issue in the safety, the warranty period I'm talking about. Anyone?
Sir, power banks.
Power banks. Yeah, perfect. That's really nice. Power banks. Then others, one more example. Any one example? Okay. No examples? Okay, fine, fine. Not an issue. But that's really nice. Your cell phones, your power banks, okay, good example. Then comes financial risk. This is a kind of a risk is pursued when the consumer doubts as whether the product is worth or cost. In other words, consumer assesses the benefit versus of the cost of the product. Is the micro rupees 20,000 worth its cost? Okay, will it serve for me for 10, 5 years? Now, have you bought any product and you felt that is it really worth of this price? Can you give some examples, students? I have repeatedly told about Micron. Anyone, any other examples? Financial risk. Is it really worth? You say in your friends group it's not worth of 10,000, it's not worth of 20,000. Will it come for 5 years? Will it come for 2 years? Have you come across such situation anytime with regard to financial risk?
Yes, sir, cell phones.
Cell phones, then picnic,
So
you go
TV.
TV, cell phones. You go to a trip for a picnic and you stay in a guest house. You say this is not worth of 5,000 rupees. This has happened. Television,
Yes, sir.
cell phones, hotels, lodges. Okay, so yeah, good examples. Yeah, fine. Then, social risk. This is a kind of a risk that the consumer faces when he doubts the product purchase and the usage of the sanctions and approval by the social group or the class which he belongs to. Will my mother approve such product as it's a high price? Okay, is it worthy? Social risk. Will the family accept it? Okay, is called as social risk. Will the surrounding, the social culture, will it accept it? We call it as social risk. Okay. Say for example, you go for rugged jeans. Okay, your generation loves to wear rugged jeans, which is torn in the front and the back, wherever required, and your family members might not accept it. Yeah, when you can recall this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
When you come up with a very funky hairstyle, and your family member says, "What kind of hairstyle is this?" We call it as social risk. Yeah. Then the last point, I feel, yeah, psychological risk. Okay, psychological risk. This kind of risk is pursued when the consumer fears social embarrassment. Is the micro one appealing enough not to cause laughter? Okay, when you buy something, there is one more point, like after psychological risk. Is it really, if I wear this, will the people accept it? We call it as psychological risk. In our mind, it will be hitting every time. Okay, we call it as psychological risk. Can you give some examples, students? Anyone? With regard to psychological risk, fear of social environment. I'm giving the hint as well. It's a fear of social environment. It can be bike, car, whatever it is. Some people buy some weird color cars or as weird colored bikes, and you have a psychological risk in your mind saying that Will people comment on my product? Will people say something? When you buy some shoes, sandals, shirts, trousers, people might comment. You will be having a psychological risk. Yeah. Any other examples? Any other views? When you buy some spectacles, goggles, yeah, it happens.
Sir, can we say like if we buy something like other people will feel bad or something?
How will they look at it? We are talking about that psychological risk. You something will be hitting your mind always. Will people comment
Sir,
on it?
hairstyle.
Hairstyle, okay. The psychological risk, okay. Then
Yes, sir.
Hair
when you
color,
Then
sir.
I
oh,
want
hair
to
color,
I want to buy a scooty, but
okay.
my dad also wants to buy a bike. So he'll be like, if I buy first, how will he feel?
Okay, okay, fine, fine. You might have come across this when you come up with a tattoo on your body, okay, on the hand or something. You like the design, but your friend might say, what pathetic design is this?" Yeah, we call it a psychological risk. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a social embarrassment.
Yes.
Yeah, scooty as an example, even that is fine. Okay. To be very frank, when I was getting my tattoo done, my friend was saying the one what we write on the vessels when we buy it, you're doing the same on your body. He said me this. Yeah. Psychological risk.
So
You
clothes also.
clothes. Yeah, yes, of course.
Clothes. Yeah,
Yeah,
during
yeah.
festival, if you wear Western clothes, then it will be.
Yeah, perfect. That's really nice. Yeah.
Sir, being a RCB fan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, then comes time risk. Okay, the consumer is uncertain about the doubts whether his time has been wasted by making a wrong choice or that he would have spent again time for the product does not perform as expected. Will Micron function well or would it replace it very soon? The time risk. You spent huge time on Amazon, search for the product, and later you felt, why did I waste so much time to buy this wrong product? Has it happened with you guys, students, anytime? Time risk? You wasted the entire half day, and later you're not happy about the product. Have you come across any time? Time risk?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great. Great. Okay. So those are all different types of risk, student. I have continued with the one example as micro one. You can change the examples if required. Okay, so I was asking you the examples, you can change that if required. Okay. Now, how to handle risk is the last part. Consumers seek information. First is consumer has to seek the information. He who doesn't want to get into this risk, then he has to do a research before buying any product. One. Second is consumers are brand loyal. Okay. Those who are brand loyal, then they might avoid the risk. If you are very specific about the brand, then you will not get into a risk. Then consumers select by brand image. Few people buy the product only because of brand image. Okay. Then consumer reply on store image. Few people like say for example in Belgavi, even my family, they believe only in Poddar. Okay, the gold, then it's only Poddar. Then for me, the gold is only Joy Elucas. So this is something, a store image, what you have in your mind. Consumer buys some expensive model, so they are out of this risk, okay? Because they feel this, if it's an expensive product, then we are out of risk. And consumers seeking reassurance, okay, means money back. If you get the guarantee of something, then you go for buying the product from this particular, how to come out of risk. So that's a general point, students, just have a glance at it, okay? And the next part, page 30, I've given some general questions, students. Okay, just have a glance at it. Sometimes these questions are asked in the paper, in the question paper. But the second point, visualizers and verbalizers, you can have a glance at it. But quite interesting questions for the interview point of view. Just have a glance at it. Whenever you're free, just have a glance at it. So here we wind up unit 3. Any questions, any ambiguity in unit 3? Please let me know, or a different type of risk or whatever it is, please let me know. And your unit 4 is ready, students. I'll be sharing it soon. Any questions, any ambiguity? Again, unit 4 is a lengthy unit. We'll be doing that offline and online both. We'll be doing that. Okay, any questions, any ambiguity with regard to consumer behavior? Please let me know. Okay, those who are present, just in the comment box, please type it as present, students. Okay, and here we end unit 3.